Hi, how you're doing? Welcome back to an Oxford review. It's 20 minutes previewing and reviewing all Oxford United's games. This week, coming up, we have the problem with Will Vaulks. We're asking these guys, should he get another start? We're going to review the Sunderland game and, of course, look ahead to the visit of Swansea City this weekend. Also, we're going to ask you guys to put your player of the month for October nominations forward and which fan bases are getting on Oxford United fans' nerves. We're going to ask each of these fantastic tap fans to relegate 3 teams which are disliked already. Let's jump straight into it, shall we? Welcome back, Robin, Blake, Sam, and Luke. All right then, Robin. We've talked about Vaulks a lot on this channel. Was that one of his worst performances at the Stadium Light?
I think you could pick from a few, to be honest. I think he needs to be taken out of the spotlight at the moment, especially now McEachran's back, because I can't even count how many mistakes he's made that have led to goals or a loss of points now.
Well, there's been a few, hasn't there? The reason we're talking about this is because Twitter was full of comments similar to what Brannigan was making here. Says he can't keep defending Vaulks. Another mistake. Injuries are killing us. Why didn't we start with 5 at the back? Lessons to be learnt. We will go again next week. Callum similarly says play Vaulks again. And Jake says that was expected, but please don't play Vaulks or Ruben again. Lots to digest there. What's your take on Vaulks, and throw Ruben in there as well, if you wouldn't mind?
You're asking me?
Yes, Blake's.
I'm sorry, it cut out. I think with Vaulks, most games like the Norwich game, he's excellent. Ever since that Norwich he's nearly making a mistake, sort of every game really. Or every mistake he makes seems to lead to a goal or a chance for them, which doesn't help him. And then I honestly probably give McEachran a go, and maybe even play Sibley. He's looked lively when he came on. I don't really know why he's not had a chance to start yet.
Okay. What about Ruben, Sam?
Ruben is. So what we need to, what we can't forget is, and I will admit, a lot of what my eyes have probably been is slightly off the back of the episode of the Dub this week from BBC Radio Oxford, because there was a lot of good points made on there. We can't forget 18 months ago, Ruben was playing in the National League. So it's been an incredible step up, and we saw that Ruben took a bit of time to adapt to League One. Obviously, he's made the step up okay in certain games to the Championship, but I mean, I called for Louis Sibley to get a start after his goal and his performance, more importantly, against Portsmouth. Des decided to keep Ruben in the side, but again, Sibley came on and had a good performance against West Brom, and I think kind of Ruben, we've seen what happens with Ruben when he starts on the bench, when he's got that fire in his belly to kind of prove a point.
Luke, tidy this up for us then. Do they both start against Swansea or not?
I would say it's probably fair to drag them out of the starting 11, probably for different reasons. Like you say, Ruben he's going to learn game by game, and he did it in League One last year. At the start of the season, he looked good at times, and he maybe struggled in other games. But as the season went on, he sort of brought himself up to the level, and I think we're going to see a similar thing this year. He's shown he can be impactful in games. It's just maybe a lot of increase in intensity is which he's struggling with. And then with Vaulks, I mean, the other 3 here might disagree with me. I think at times it's been a little bit harsh on Vaulks, and I think sometimes when you're looking at players in a spotlight so much, you will highlight their mistakes a lot more than you will someone who's playing well, who will also make a similar mistake, and it sort of gets overlooked because it's not led to a goal directly or something like that. If just quickly the Derby game, where a lot of people blamed Vaulks for the Derby goal. If you look at the whole phase of play, Elliot Moore shanks a clearance.
Yep.
And then there's a free header in the middle of the park. Vaulks
Kieran loses man.
Vaulks sort of flicks the ball from a 50-50. Maybe he could be stronger. But then after that, Kieran Brown comes over Ben Nelson instead of communicating, leaving Mendes-Lang free. And then when he's got the ball, he backs off him. And then you see what I mean? There's a a load of mistakes that have compiled to one, which the spotlight just got put on Vaulks. So I think maybe take him out of the spotlight a little bit, just to take that pressure away from him and ease him back in again.
And Mark, can I just add on the Will Vaulks thing? What's also very interesting, obviously, is you see the way that Vaulks has performed when he doesn't have Brannigan next to him. Because as much as I love Idris El Mazouni, they do play different roles as the 8. You know, Cam is very much, you know, all action, box to box, getting involved in that phase of play. You know, he won the ball in the midfield area the most times for us last season. So I think having Brannigan next to him is a much better for Vaulks. If you look at the way he was playing at Wednesday last season, he had Barry Bannon next to him, who was able to then play the ball out for him. So it's the role he's being played by Des. He's putting a lot of pressure on him on the ball, which is why I think he's making some of the mistakes. Okay.
Flipping the positives, Robin, Goodrum was the one player who came out from more commentators saying actually put in a good shift. Some people are saying was the only one that put in a good shift. How good of a game did he have for you?
Well, he doesn't stop, does he? He's just like an absolute little machine, and he will just keep running. But I think that's because of where he's come from within the club, come all the way up through the ranks, and he puts his heart on his sleeve and he fights. And we need players like that in amongst it. And sometimes he can be a little bit weak, but he is a small guy, but he will always give his all.
Blake, for you, the scoreline was reflective of the distance between the two teams, Sunderland and Oxford. For you, was it?
I think, to be honest, a 2-0 defeat really flattered us in a way. We didn't even, I wouldn't say we left a glove of them. They were in second gear most of that game. If they really wanted to, they could have 3 or 4, I think, personally.
Okay. We are now a couple of games away from another home win, which should be Swansea at the weekend. So let's park Sunderland to one side. The reason I say so confident in that is that, as I'm sure you're aware, Swansea haven't scored in nearly 600 minutes of football. They have gone through the whole of October without scoring a single goal. So, Sam, this is another opportunity to put another points on the scoreboard, isn't it? Or
I mean,
Oxford have the habit of ending runs.
Yeah, it would be very Oxford United to concede against Swansea. But you know, we've got that the so far touchwood unbeaten home record at Grenoble Road. It is where we're strongest. We've got a definitive way of playing, which I don't think we've really got away from home. Look, Swansea's biggest asset in the game on Saturday is going to be their attacking ability out wide. They've got the pace, and especially they'll have the ability on the ball against, if it's McEachran or Vaulks, regardless, they're going to have the ability to beat us in behind, especially when you consider, you know, Elliot Moore is not the quickest of centre-backs. I'm always confident when we go into a home game because of just the nature of how we started the campaign, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as the form table suggests.
Okay. Luke, in terms of any changes to the starting 11 based on that started at Sunderland, you've already dropped 2. Any more changes need to be made?
I think one key decision, and it's a huge one at the minute, is does he play Harris or Scarlett? Because I think they've proved very quickly they can't play together, especially if you're going to push one out wide. We have got a lack of wingers at the minute, a lot of injuries out wide, but we had Dale and Abue on the bench who didn't even get a look in. I think that was because of the change of system. So I think if we're going to stay on the front foot and play 4-3-3, you've got to trust one of those players from the off on Saturday. You can't waste Harris out wide when he's got so much to give down the middle, and the same with Scarlett, really. So I think that's the key. What
about playing Scarlett and Harris and going to 5 at the back with Lee and Kyoso as wing backs, and then having more cover in the middle with Moore, Nelson, and Brown?
It's definitely
while we've got the wingers out.
I just think with Lee and Kyoso, if you're going to play a 5-back, they need to be really front foot, and I think they're more solid fullbacks than out and out wing backs. I mean, I would like to see us stay on the front foot with a 4-3-3. And I think if you're going to trust anyone, you trust Owen Dale, because even if he's not going to contribute in the final third with maybe the quality of some of the other players we've got, he's definitely going to run his socks off. And that you can't knock him for that. He's going to work. He's never going to cost us anything. But he just might not create as much as some of the others.
And it's a small thing, but if you look at the opposition, Swansea, look, Sparky's going to be absolutely dying to get in that game. Score against his the place of his birth, but his rival Boyd club. He's gonna really want to be in that game and be able to put Swansea to bed.
Good shout, all of you. Thank you for that. We are talking, of course, about the first game in November, the Swansea game. So we will have to look back at October now. You all to pick out a player of the month. I think Harris got all of your September player of the month, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see if we can choose a different one this time round. Blake, start us off, please. Who's your October player of the month?
It's either for me, Elliot Moore or Nelson. It's been a hard one though this month because it's just been we haven't won a game, we've drawn most of it, so it's quite hard to pick. But probably Elliot Moore or Nelson are the two that stood out this month for me.
Okay, Robin.
Kioso for me. I think he's been great.
Okay, Sam.
Kioso's an interesting shout, especially I think given how he started the month. He's definitely grow into. I'd agree on that. For me, it's got to be Ben Nelson. 20-year-old lad has kind of finally got fit, stepped into that back to partnership with Elliot Moore, and just he looks like he's been an Oxford United player for 5 years. The way he plays, and it's so simple. Some of his attributes that he's got over, look at Kieran Brown. He's got a bit more pace. He's able to play with both feet. He's much more confident on the ball. He's able to bring the ball out of defence. He is absolutely incredible. And, I think next season, I think Leicester are going to have a real player on their hands, regardless of which division they're in.
Yeah, he doesn't belong in this league.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Here to that. Luke.
I know you like a bit of diversity, Mark, but I'm a sucker for a centre-back. And Ben Nelson is quickly rising up, one of my favourites. Sam summed it up pretty well there. But I don't think in all my time of watching Oxford, I've seen a right-footed centre-half drop a shoulder of a striker onto his left foot, then hit a 60-yard pass onto the toe of a winger. And I can get used to watching that, if I'm honest.
It's a joke.
All right. We'll let you have it, Luke. That's fine. Small one here, but Man United have obviously set Ten Hag today, and that has led Borough fans and Watford fans a little bit nervous that they might call up Carrick and Cleverley. Do you worry to the future of Des? Because of course he's not going to go to United, but should teams like Borough and Watford, and we've already asked them, should it happen, who would they go for? Then they would be looking at managers like yours, and it has a ripple effect, doesn't it? That a team like United can get anybody, and then they'll get the team they want, and then the team that they've left will then pick up the managers that are doing well at the bottom. Do you have any concerns that if a more established Championship team would to need a manager, that he might be tempted at all? This is an open question to any of you.
I'd say probably not, because if you look at the... Go on, Robin.
No, I was only joking. I said Des is waiting for the England job.
I'd say, look, Des spoke in the summer. He's already had approaches. And the reality is that, Des has a lengthy contract. It's going to cost a lot of money to get him out. And, with Watford's ownership situation, Middlesbrough might be a bit more willing to do so. But I think, anyway, it doesn't really matter. United are getting Ruben Amram. So, Watford and Borough fans haven't really got to worry.
Yeah, we're speculating a little bit, but we thought we'd make it a conversation a little more interesting. Okay.
I think you summed it up at the beginning, Mark. You said Watford and Middlesbrough might come looking, and I like the phrase, you look with your eyes, not your hands. So they can look at
Fair enough. Okay. All right, well, you've been in the division now for, nearly 3 months, so it's time for you to really nail your colours to the mast here. There must have been some fans that started to annoy you on social media and so on. So we're asking you, in terms of fan bases and just general clubs that you don't like, which 3 teams would you love to relegate if I gave you the power to do so? So far, no one has put Oxford down when we've asked them this question. So they are loved universally by obviously, Swindon were here, that might change, but they're not. Robin, kick this off for us, please.
I'll probably go Bristol City. And I'll go QPR just because you asked me who'd come bottom in the predictions right at the start of the season. So I'll just go with them just to get that right.
Okay, right.
And probably Watford just for the way they run.
Okay, good shots. All right, Blake.
The main one would be Luton, just because all the battles we had in the conference, we've never really liked each other. The other two, no real fan base have annoyed me that much. Most of them just get annoyed by us because we beat them or draw, and then we should be beating teams like Oxford every week. But that's every fan base, so can't really pick out one.
All right, fair enough. Luke?
I think, first off, on a personal note, I've got a really good mate who's a Derby County fan, and I'm sort of fed up of all the times he gets to brag about results going their way, because I'd say they get the better of us more times. So to get rid of him would give me a nice bit of personal bragging point. I think Plymouth, just to save that journey. I'm sick of doing that. I've done it too many times. I don't want to do it again. And finally, I guess as a fan base, in a couple of weeks' time, or just over a week's time, if I hear we're getting mauled by the Tigers, I might go into meltdown. So I'll get rid of Hull City as well.
You're getting rid of Hull because of their chant. Brilliant. All right, okay. All right, Sam, sort this out for us.
I'm really tempted to break the rules completely. But seriously, Bristol City, yeah. No, stuff. I'm going to break the rules. Swindon, enjoy the National League. You're going there anyway. Reading, get back to League 2 where you belong. And Wickham, you can go as well.
Okay.
Is it not just
we will do
for
it.
us to get out of the division going up rather than us getting rid
That's
of teams
fair
going
enough.
down?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I like most of the teams that are in the division. Most of their fan base have been very kind of. I mean, Sunderland fans, like I saw them on social, they were very, very nice. And it was just kind of a bit shocked me.
All right. Drop us a comment below. Who would you love to get rid of? Okay. You lot enjoy your game against Swansea. It'll be going in my home accumulator this weekend. That's for certainty. Don't let me down. And I'll see you next week to tell you off if it's not coming. Cheers, everyone. See you next week. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.